Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pits, some Motorcast. This is your host, Dave. And I got an online special guest, Nostalgia Pro Stock driver, Mike Roppo. How you doing, Mike?
I'm really good. How are you, Dave?
Pretty good. So, Mike, first question I got for you is, how did you get involved in drag racing? What year did you get involved?
I've been a fan of racing my whole life, but I wasn't until about 2000 that I got involved, and my neighbor bought a car, and that sparked my interest, and then I bought a car, and we started bracket racing at Route 66.
So what was the first bracket car you drove?
It's a 89 Pontiac Firebird, and we raced that up until 2014, and had pretty decent success with it.
Now, before you started bracket racing, when you first got into drag racing, how'd you get into drag racing? Your dad, or how'd you get involved?
No, not at all. Really very little. My family had any interest in racing. My dad was not a gearhead at all. My next oldest brother is a mechanic. He's a truck mechanic. He's a little bit of a gearhead too, but it was pretty much all on my own. And ironically, now as we've gotten older, my brother has sparked a little interest, and he's also gotten into racing too. So now he has a racing Firebird also.
Now, before you started racing on track, did you ever do any street racing?
Not at all. Not at all. Wasn't around it at all.
So now, the first bracket car, how long did you race that car for?
From 2000 until 2014, and mostly at Route 66. Got out to a couple of events, like in Cordova. Then we went out and did some division racing, Summit Racing, the division finals down in Indianapolis. But pretty much stuck with bracket racing, developed a lot of friends, and I had good success with it. I was happy. After every bit of 14 years, I was ready for another bite of the apple and got involved in Nostalgia Pro Stocks.
So what made you decide to get into Nostalgia Pro Stocks?
So I was at a bracket race, and we were in Cordova at the World Series, and it was the first time I had seen it. I had heard about it. I had seen some cars at some of the shows, but it was the first time that I had seen it, and I just went in hook, line, and sinker. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And ironically, I'm in the staging lanes and happen to run into my motor guy, and he starts throwing me some tips on what I should look for, and everything fell into place. And found the car, found the motor, found the trans. Everything went together real fast, and by the next season, that spring, we were racing. And having a blast, wouldn't want to do anything else, not looking back one bit.
So now the car is, what year and make is the car?
So it's a 84 Pontiac Firebird. It's a tribute to the Rod Shop car from 1984. It was pretty popular with the Castrol and Nationwide sponsorship. Gil Kirk ran the Rod Shop, and pretty much the beginning of the foray into pro stocks, and did very well. And I'm very relatively honored to have met him, talked to him, and pick his brain about what it was like in the day. And again, just love doing it. Couldn't imagine anything else. Having a blast.
Now, do you have a clutch or a Lenko?
Oh, it's a Lenko. It's the only way to rock. It's a Lenko with a clutch. Excuse me. The only way to rock, in my opinion. I think all of these Nostalgia Pro stocks should. I understand the money and the commitment, but I guess just my opinion. You've got to look like a Nostalgia Pro stock, and then you got to shift like one. So.
All right. So what kind of engine do you have in that car?
It's an old Sam G. Nino motor, relatively period correct. Tunnel Ram twin carbs. It's got a Ram twin disc clutch, early CS1 Lenko 4-speed. It's running good, it's running fast, and has all of the current safety. But other than that, it's also an old '80s chassis. The original car from '84 was a Willie Rose chassis, and this one is also. So, to some extent, it's relatively period correct. It is not the actual car. It's my understanding in talking to enough people that are really good on this nostalgia and the historical stuff that the original car was smashed and is gone. So, again, to recap, it's relatively period correct car.
So now, how did you meet Mark Pappas and Mike Ruth?
Once you get a car and everyone knows that you're serious, they're going to reach out to you, and that's exactly what took place. A very good friend of mine is George Cubis, and as soon as he found out that I picked up the roller, he invited me to call Mark and Mike, and just nothing but happy. They're just a great bunch of guys. It's a great group, and they're very serious about the cars and the commitment to restoring nostalgia pro stock and paying tribute to the legends, like their title is. So
yeah, get a chance for the people these days that weren't around back then to see how it was back then.
Yeah, really. The nostalgia craze is going on right now. It's pretty big and it's pretty strong, and everywhere we go, we're very well received, and it's back when cars looked like pro stock cars look like cars. They've morphed into, they're faster now, unquestionably, and but I think they've gotten away from their roots, and they were supposed to be a pro stock car, and there's very little stock about them now. I love the current NHRA pro stock, but my heart is definitely into the nostalgia stuff. It's what I watched when I was younger, and I think this nostalgia craze is just beginning. I think we're going to see a lot more of this. I think it's going to get stronger. I've already witnessed it in the 3 years I've been doing it. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, so you love doing the long smoky burnouts and dry hopping then?
Oh, God, yeah. I can't believe that I can have this much fun and still, let people enjoy it too. We are definitely well received, unquestionably. So.
Have you ever done any race with Bob Marley?
Yes. Yep. I've raced with Bob, and Bob's a good guy. It's a great group, and again, just a sign of how big this nostalgia pro stock is. It's definitely growing.
So now, when you started getting involved in drag racing, was there any drivers out there that were an inspiration to you, like pro stock drivers back in the day?
Well, when I was younger, my first fan was the Grump, without a doubt. And when I thought of going into this, I thought of doing a Grumpy car. But it's pretty well covered. So, being a Pontiac fan, I remember the early rod shop days. They were Mopars, pretty much throughout the 70s. But then when they got into the 80s, it was Pontiac. And I remember the fleet of Pontiacs that they raced. And I looked at all of the cars and thought of what I could contribute. And the black and gold 84, I thought was just cool. The gold interior, the gold stripe, black paint. It was just a gorgeous car. And
Yeah, the car looks beautiful.
Thank you very much.
So now, when you take this car out, how many crew members do you have, and who are your crew members, Mike?
It is my wife, Sherry. And when we started this, I told her, we're going to go racing. We're going to go a different kind of racing, but this is a commitment. This isn't like bracket racing. You have to come with me. And she was 100% behind me, like she is with everything. Just 100% behind me. And that is it. That's my crew chief, my wife.
So you and your wife do all of the motor work?
Pretty much just falling on a good friend of mine, Bill Houghton. He's helped me out already. I bought the motor from another friend of mine, Rob Vanderwood, and bought a great piece of machinery. And we've gone through it already once, and it's just in great shape. So we've not really done any major modifications to it. My goal when I built the car was that it would be as fast as today as it was in 1984, and we have accomplished that. So we're going to stick with this and just keep putting on a good show. That's what it's about.
So now, do you have any sponsors for your car?
Not really. Pretty much my pocketbook, and we've been fortunate enough to make a little money. The tracks do reimburse us a little bit for our expenses, and it's been a great thing. And so far, so good.
Now, what was it like getting behind the wheel for the first time of this Pro Stock?
What was it like?
Yeah.
It was pretty scary. Yeah. It was pretty scary, I have to admit.
So when you finally did take it down the track, how'd you feel after that, though?
Big relief. I won't deny it. I was shaking a little bit. The power of this motor it's twice as big and it's twice as powerful as the other motor I was racing. And then add to that the clutch and my concerns how I would be able to handle it. I was a little shaken a little bit at first, but yeah, after the first pass, it was a big relief. And unquestionably, I'm much more comfortable in the seat now, and I think I'm more comfortable with what the car might do. So it's a blast. I couldn't imagine doing anything else. It's the best 7-second ride I've ever been in.
So what's the quickest ET you've had with this car?
I went 754 at 181, and that was this past weekend. That's been my quickest to date. So we're slowly working on the tune-up, and it's about as fast as we're going to go for a while. I don't think we're going to tweak it anymore.
So, Mike, what are some of your favorite tracks to run on?
One of the things that I've really liked about getting involved in this nostalgia pro stock racing is that it gives us the opportunity to go to tracks that we've never been to, meet new managers, owners, track personnel. That was really one of my big perks of doing this. I wanted to go to different tracks. We had spent 14 years racing at relatively the same tracks, and I wanted to get around. And that has definitely been the case. We have definitely gone to tracks we have never been to. And this year we went to Rock Falls. We go to Cordova a lot. It is relatively our home track. We've been to Bowling Green this year, which is one of my bucket list tracks. I've never been there, and we went there for the Holly reunion, and it was just awesome. There's so much nostalgia down there, and it was good to be a part of it. We're going to be going down to Indy for the first time this year, and looks like we're going to go to Brainerd for the first time. So yeah, getting around the different tracks has really been a huge appeal. It's something that I wanted. The travel doesn't bother me so much. It's seeing new places, going new places, and just getting around, meeting new people, seeing new fans.
So now, for like favorite tracks, so you would consider Cordova one of your favorites?
Unquestionably. always in great shape. And the car goes faster. It hooks up good. I can't say enough about it. They really treat us well. So I got to give a shout out to Dominic. He does a great job.
Dominic Blasco.
The man.
So now, since you got into this Nostalgia Pro Stock deal, Mike, have you gotten any advice from other Pro Stock drivers out there?
Mostly from my teammates, and everyone helps a lot. You know, we help each other. I haven't really reached out to any current racers now, but you know, all my friends definitely help out, and I had a lot to figure out myself, but no, it was a learning process, and it was fun.
So now, when you get ready for a weekend of racing out there at a track, what goes into preparation to get the car ready?
You definitely want to keep your eye on the clutch. We've got it set up to where it's not too loose, so we don't really do a lot of maintenance with that. But always watch the tires, always watch the carburetors, make sure everything's working. All of this equipment's kind of like on the edge, so it can break at any time. We went last year out to the World Series at Cordova, and you know, just on a fluke, my fan stopped working, so we couldn't make the final call. And that's kind of how it is with race cars. You never know, you know, that when it's going to just quit, stop working, and so you just want to be on top of your maintenance. Check the valves, check the carburetors, check your springs, and keep your fingers crossed. Keep it tuned up.
Now, do you only do quarter mile, or you do eighth mile too?
We do both. We do both. I like quarter mile because I just like speed. The faster we can go, the better it is. I don't like eighth mile if I don't like eighth mile. You know, if we had to. Let me start over. The shutdown area has a lot to do with how I like if it's quarter or eighth. So as long as you got a good shutdown, I like the quarter mile. But if we don't, then I would rather race eighth. Stopping the cars is just as important as going forward. So some tracks are a little hairy on the stopping part.
Yeah, you get some drivers, they prefer the eighth mile because it saves on the wear and tear of the car.
Well, I understand that, yes. And I think it's better for the fans. I am now starting to understand that. You know, most fans are up at the starting line, and pretty much when you get past 660, they're just, you know, gazing back at the starting line to see what's up next. Totally get that. I don't object to that whatsoever. Just me personally, I like doing 180. I would never make an eighth mile track a decision whether I go or not. It doesn't matter to me. We're all racing eighth if we're racing eighth. So, and then I think it has a little bit to do with the nostalgia too. I mean, drag racing started as a quarter mile. So I guess I'm a little bit old-fashioned in that regard.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like NHRA, I don't like that 1,000-foot racing.
Yeah.
So
but again, it's more about the condition of the track and the condition of shutdown area. That's what's important to me. So, and so far, knock on wood, we've not had nothing but great tracks everywhere we go.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So now, Michael, where do you get all your fire equipment from? Your suit, your helmet, all that stuff?
Most of my stuff I get from Winter Circle and Joliet. Jim and the gang there, they're great people. They treat us well, and everything's pretty much available when we need it. If not, it's there the next day or so. So that's pretty much where all my equipment comes from. And as far as motor parts, pretty much deal with my buddy Bill, and he works with Joe Ryan in Indiana. When it comes to clutch stuff, we're looking at Paul Catoni. He's the man. When it comes to Lenkos, Paul's the man. So thank you, Paul, for all your help.
So now, if anybody's listening to this interview and they were thinking about becoming a Nostalgia Pro Stock driver, what kind of advice would you give them, Michael?
Definitely, you want to find a tribute car. You want to find something to tribute. Make it look like a Nostalgia Pro Stock first. Don't find a group of guys, meet them, make sure that you get along with everybody, which should not be a problem, and then build a car. And be prepared to race a lot. I race more now than when I was bracket racing.
Okay, now, have you had any accidents or close accidents throughout your drag racing career, Mike?
None yet. Went into the sand one time, and it was my fault, but it was a very soft hit. No accidents yet, knock on wood.
Yep, knock on wood.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I've always prided myself on when I built the cars, whatever I did, I always, did as best possible. Whenever I bought parts, I bought the best parts possible. When I had my chassis work done on his car, we converted it. I went to Jason at Easy Street, best welder in the world. I just pride myself a little bit on getting the best stuff, and I think that has a lot to do with everything staying together. So, and good luck. I've had good luck.
Well, that's good to hear, Mike.
Yeah.
And what would you consider to be some of the milestones of your drag racing career?
Presently, my car running in the 750s. In the past, bracket racing, I've been top 10 a few times. I have won track championship, quite a few runner-ups, top 10 divisional quite a few times. I've won the World Series. I've won Super Chevy. So we had a lot of success with the car.
All right, now we're going into the fun question portion. Any of you ready for some fun questions here, Mike?
Go ahead, lay it on.
Would you ever drive a pro mod?
Never.
Never. How about a funny car dragster?
No. If I had the choice, I'd drive a funny car.
All right. Now, if someone gave you $200 million to build a brand new drag racing track, where would you consider building a new track, and what kind of features would you want to put into this new track?
Oh, wow. Where would I build it? Wow, that's a really good question. Probably south. They have a longer racing season. Probably 4 lanes. And somehow design it to where if there was ever an oil down that you would race in the other 2 lanes just to keep the cars moving. Kind of something I've always thought of. I'm sure there's pros and cons to it. Definitely, no bracket trees. Everything would be instant green. Whether it's a 4/10 or 5/10 tree, it doesn't matter, but everything instant green. Yeah, just some ideas that I think. And like I say, mostly, you'd probably go south just because you'd have a longer racing season. So.
All right. Okay. Now, do you have any hobbies outside of drag racing, Mike?
Snowmobiling in the wintertime. That kind of fills my need for speed. We haven't done it in the last couple of seasons, but that's definitely something we like to do in the winter. But without a doubt, drag racing consumes our summers.
So if you and the wife ever have time to take a vacation, you have a favorite vacation spot?
Key West, Florida.
Key West.
Key West, Florida is the place.
So now, throughout your drag racing career, you have a most embarrassing moment you can share with us?
Why would anyone want to hear that? I'm sure there's been a few times that I've really screwed up some races, but as far as most embarrassing, I'm sure I've opened my mouth and said some things that were embarrassing, but nothing that sticks out right now. So I'll let you know if I think of something.
But on the track, you never had an embarrassing moment with the car or anything?
Not offhand that comes to mind right away. No.
You never went for a long smoky burnout and didn't have the long smoky burnout?
No. We've had luck with it so far. So yeah, I don't think I've really screwed up anything really that bad yet.
That's good then.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So now with the Nostalgia Pro Stocks, has there been a greatest competitor for you?
So far, Mark Pappas.
Okay.
He's definitely the guy, and rumor has it he's bringing out a new gun. So we're going to see how this new car does. And he's definitely been a good competitor and a great guy.
Yep.
We'll see how the new car should be coming out pretty soon here.
Now, when he brings the new car out, is he going to replace the rear Morrison car or do both cars?
No, Mark just keeps adding to the stable.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, he's a lucky guy. He's a good guy and a lucky guy. He just keeps adding. So you've got a lot of quality cars.
Now, throughout your racing career, have you won a lot of trophies and plaques, Wallies, anything?
Yeah, 2 Wallies. We won the National Drag Show Challenge, and then I won the state championship, got driver of the year, track champion at 66, first place, and World Series winner, Super Chevy winner, Super Chevy runner-up, World Series runner-up. Those were all with a white car. As I say, we had good success with it. It was a very good car.
So what year did you win the World Series at Cordova?
Oh, let me see. I'm looking at this trophy now as we speak. I think it was 12 or 13. But, yes, it was 2012. So,
Very cool.
thank you.
So if you could do time traveling, Mike, and go back in time, would you do anything differently in your drag race career?
I would have met my wife in high school, and we would have moved to California and raced out there.
So
That would have been good.
So you could
Going out there in the early days, in the 60s, early 70s, when drag racing was getting started, that's stuff that really sparked my interest.
And back in the heyday.
Yeah.
All right, so here's some more fun questions. What's your favorite food to eat?
I'm sorry?
What's your favorite food you like to eat?
Food? Italian. Definitely.
Favorite beverage?
Beer?
How about non-alcoholic?
Iced tea.
Now, as far as beer, you have a favorite kind of beer?
Well, if I could give a little shout out to my son just opened a craft beer pub in Homer Glen. It's called Eddie's. And it's roughly 3 months old. And they have a beer there called a Full Lamani. And that is my favorite.
What kind of beer is that?
Wheat ale, and I could be wrong. I'm not good at the stout ale, pilsner, all of that stuff. I'm not too good at it. I just taste it, and if I like it, I keep drinking it.
So you're an ale guy?
Yeah, probably.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, Mike, do you have a favorite movie of all time?
Favorite movie of all time? That's a good question. Fifth Element.
Good movie.
Yeah, it's a good flick. Entertaining. American Graffiti. World's Fastest Indian. Those are some good movies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, American Graffiti, definitely. If I had to, the more I think about it, I had to pick the favorite, I would say that's it.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So now, when you're at the track, do you have certain eating habits? Or do you eat lightly, or do you eat regularly at the track?
Oh, we eat very light throughout the day because we're mostly drinking water. And then afterwards, just mostly light food. But it's pretty much just drinking. This has been kind of a warm summer, so for the most part, we've just been consuming water to hydrate and nothing else.
So if you weren't drag racing, what do you think you'd be doing?
Oh, that's a real good question. Probably be bored during the summer, complaining about how hot it is. Yeah, really. I've been doing this long enough now that I don't know. Thanks to my neighbor Andy Brody for getting me hooked into this. If it wasn't for him buying a '67 Buick, it might just be just another boring neighbor, I guess. So, but we were into snowmobiling before that, so we would definitely just be looking forward to the winters with snowmobiling.
Now, do you ever take the Pro Stock out to any car shows?
Out to where?
Car shows at all?
I went to a couple, and I would say it's good. It's not a problem for me, but we just don't have that much time. It's kind of difficult. Our weekends are pretty full, and when we're off on and we don't have a race on a certain weekend, then for the most part we got to catch up on stuff around the house and that. But it's a busy schedule. I'd have to say, you have advice for any people that are coming into this. I would say be prepared to race a lot because it's a full schedule. Anyone wants to go online and look at the schedule, there's some races added and there's some races that we're not doing. So definitely watch the page and make sure that you see what's coming up current. So, but it's a full schedule.
Yes, there's the group page on Facebook. Just ask to join that group, the Midwest Nostalgia Pro Stock Association tribute to the legends.
That's it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And what's your favorite music to listen to, Mike?
I can listen to anything but heavy metal. And I know my wife doesn't want to hear it. She tells me to shut it off. But my first concert was Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy, when I was in high school. And just a big heavy metal fan. So
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
My brother got me into the hard rock, but I was like 4 or 5. He's like 9 years older than me. I'm 50 now, so yeah, I started out with Kiss was my favorite band when I was young.
Yeah, I'm a Kiss fan myself.
Yep.
Yeah.
So who would you consider your favorite all-time rock band?
Oh, Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, neck and neck. Yeah.
All right, so what would you consider the fondest memory of your drag racing career, Mike?
Without a doubt, when my son raced in high school, and he won. He raced high school, and he won that day. And I was still in racing. And I knew that if I won that day, we would both win on the same day. That was the most pressure I've ever had racing ever, any place, any final, anywhere. And we were lucky enough to pull it off. So on that day, both me and my son won. That was an awesome day.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So now, I had a question. What was it? Oh yeah, how important do you think it is for the families that bringing their kids out to watch drag racing these days?
How fun is it?
No, how important do you think it is for families to bring the kids out to watch drag racing?
I think it's real important, and I think that's a big part of drag racing. One of the features of drag racing is that you can bring your family, walk the pits, get right up, talk to the drivers, see the cars, touch the cars, and even at an NHRA event, a national event, you can get up real close and really rub shoulders with the drivers. And if you come out to a smaller event, you can approach smaller drivers and just really rub shoulders with them. And I think that's a very big part of our sport already. I think that's one of the things that is an attraction. So it's one of the things I like. When we were racing bracket racing, we had our family there all the time, the whole family. So it was good.
Yeah, you just gotta get them away from the video games and the age they're in now compared to when we were young. They got totally different now.
Yeah. Well, it's gotten expensive like everything. But you go to the nationals, you still see a lot of families.
Yeah, I know you and other posts that guy. You throw a lot of kids in the driver's seat in the pits.
Oh yes, yeah, yeah. That's a big attraction. Parents love that. Kids love it too. You know, you get them in a seat, they take pictures. That gives them something to talk about with their friend. Big deal. Happy to do it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, I want to thank you very much for taking time to do an interview with me tonight.
I want to thank you very much for thinking of me.
No problem.
Means a lot.
You have any final words, thank yous to anybody out there, whatever to say out there?
Well, I want to thank my wife first. Couldn't do this without her. I want to thank my family for supporting me these years. I want to thank all of the guys that are involved in this. Outlaw Nostalgia, Bob, Roland, Kevin, Rick, all of the guys down at the Southeast, Leslie and Jeff, the other racers, Shane, and then definitely my main guys that I race with is, the Midwest guys, paying tribute to the legends, Mark, Mike, Steve, Dave, George, Ted. I think I got them all. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Scott. Okay.
Yeah, Scott Hoffman. Scott Hoffman.
Scott Hoffman.
Yeah.
Bass boats. Yeah. Good people. Everyone's good people. And having a blast. So anyone out there that's thinking of doing this, definitely reach out to Mark. Give him a shout. And they'll tell you pretty much the rules and get prepared to have fun.
Well, thanks again, Mike, and we'll do another one in the future.
Thanks so much, Dave. Thanks for thinking of me, and you have a great evening.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.